Hello and welcome to the Other 14 FC podcast. I'm Alex, Crystal Palace fan.
And I'm Tom, a West Ham fan.
And this is your new podcast for everything not top six. Tired of your team being last on match of the day and not getting the flowers they deserve? Well, that's all about to change because we're here to do that all. Tom, what do we have in this week's show for us?
Coming up on today's episode, we complete our Other 14 FC team of the season. And we'll be going through our midfielders and forwards in this one. I'm sure the takes can get spicy. And I have a bet that Alex will name at least 4 Crystal Palace players today.
Maybe, I'm not going to lie. Do you know what? I'm putting them all together, and like I done last week, I put the shortlist together, and I was just like, it is probably all like biasy, like recent biasy, and then obviously, look at me, I'm fucking draped in Palace shit.
You've got all your merch come in from the FA Cup now, have you?
Yeah, what was it? I got to the shop last week, and they were basically like, do not show anyone you have this, because there's been like, because it all got pre-ordered and it got sold out straight away. There've been people like at the shop every day like, where's this merch? I need this merch. And it's just
yeah, don't walk around Thornton Heath after, you might get robbed.
It was that, and I also got I had to get a fake shirt off eBay because they've not redoing the current shirt and it's like sold out. But like I got a good fake, took it there to get winners printed on the back. And I got there and I was like, look, guys, this is fake. Like, I'm not even going to try lying to you in case, like, it breaks your machine or something. And I looked at it and went, this is actually quite a good fake. Some of the shit we've been printing on has been dreadful. It's like, they said one of them they put in it started melting, so they had to take it out of the fucking machine.
Someone just got a cheap sports shirt from JD.
Mate, is that, they even just, like, plain T-shirts people have been going in with, like, plain white T-shirt, like, can you print on this? Oh, it's absolute badness, though. But yeah, how's your week been anyway? What have you been up to with no football being on?
Yeah, no football on. I delved into tennis this weekend. You know, like I'm not that into tennis. Like, I enjoy it, but I won't be staying up all nights to watch like the Australian and the American ones. Yeah. But you know, when it comes around to Roland Garros and Wimbledon, I watch a bit here and there. And mate, some of that tennis played on the weekend, both finals were unreal.
That was. I put on the men's final last night. I can't remember what I was watching about, a bit of time to kill. And then it's like 3 hours later, I'm still watching it, ripped to it. Like, I can't believe it. I feel like...
we watched all 5.5 hours. It was like, it's such an unbelievable back and forth.
Honestly, like, that 3 championship points that was Alvarez just clawed back was unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, we probably shouldn't spend too much time on tennis. This is a football podcast.
This is not a tennis podcast. Neither of us are too knowledgeable about tennis based off our own play.
Hey, I've worked on a tennis website before. I know all the ins and outs.
How about you though? What have you been up to?
Mate, it's just getting into that wedding season stuff now. So, like, engagement party over the weekend, then just trying to be, like, productive with everything. But it's literally just, like, engagement party, wedding coming up, another wedding. Yeah, I've got to that age where it's weddings and then kids coming along. And then I've got to start being responsible myself, which I'm terrified of.
Yeah, man. Well, enjoy the wedding season.
Mate, it's going to make me broke because most of them are different countries and stuff like that as well. Oh, God. But yeah, cool. Let's take a break and then we'll get into probably a bit of arguing over our midfielders and forwards.
Let's do it.
Okay, and we're back. So let's have a quick little recap of our team as it currently stands. I think we'll probably get the graphic up now so you can read through. Let's see if I can name everyone. So in goal, we had Matt Sells from Nottingham Forest. Right back, we had Daniel Munoz from Crystal Palace. One centre-back, we had Murillo from Nottingham Forest as well. The other centre-back, Dean Holson from Bournemouth. And then our left-back, we actually ended up agreeing on Anthony Robinson from Fulham, didn't we?
We did. We gave it to Anthony Robinson, and a reminder of the formation we went for is a 4-3-3, but I've kind of blended that one today with a bit of a 4-2-3-1, you know, like one of those sort of hybrid 8-10 roles, but we'll get on to him in a bit.
So you're just changing the rules as a fancy too, mate, after everything?
Yeah, I've been playing so much Football Manager this weekend, I need to tinker, and if I've got like players that can play a couple of positions, then I'm happy with it.
So you wouldn't let me have Wan-Bissaka at centre-back, but you can
I've not gone that rogue, okay. It makes sense, trust me.
Okay, I think we're going to struggle with midfielders, because to be fair, like, a few midfielders I put in are kind of like played forward positions this year as well, so... Yeah, I'll let you go with how do you want to start this then? You want to start with a defensive midfielder?
Okay, let's start with the 6, the defensive midfielder. Okay. I've gone for Bruno Guimaraes of Newcastle.
Okay, yeah, he's definitely on my short list. I was gonna say we're probably gonna have like a good 5 minute period where we're talking about it could have been any three of those Newcastle players, really, couldn't it? That sit there.
100%. Like I've seen Tonali in loads of people's team of the seasons. Like Joe Linton is probably the one that goes under the radar, but like does so much of the dirty work and like gets the ball like, up and around the pitch. Like, but and Tonali's like had his best season in the Premier League, obviously after his ban last year and such. But for me, it's Guimaraes is the beating heart of that Newcastle team. I think anything like good that happens, he seems to be involved in, and I've got him down as the sixth and like the defensive of the midfielder, but that's really it's not like a limitation on him as a player. Like he is so impactful going forward as well. He's not just a defensive like sit in front of the back four, kind of like clean things up. He's all action up and down the pitch as well as the other two.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that completely. Like his stats for the season don't really like put forward what he actually does in the team. He contributed with 5 goals, 6 assists in 38 appearances, but he just seems like that spirit of that Newcastle team. And it's one of those things like I don't know why at the end of last year I was like he's probably going to leave or something like that, like thinking he wants to move on to bigger things. But I think he's found his perfect place for him at Newcastle. Seems to love the football. He's seen as like a cult hero for them already, and yeah, it just seems like good times on tune for him all day long, really.
Yeah, I don't see him leaving at this point in time. Like, I think I understand where you're coming from. Like, maybe he viewed Newcastle as a stepping stone when he first went there, but given how passionate he is after victories and like after the League Cup victory, which you could clearly tell meant so much to him,
Yeah,
which and like Newcastle's a very passionate place. It's not hard for players to fall in love with the town, the fans, the stadium, like, and having good times on the pitch as well. Why would you go anywhere? Like he's loved by the Geordie nation. Like he's playing so well. He's getting into Brazil squads. Like he's captain of the team. Like to talk about his little like give a couple of stats to why how important he is. Like and kind of like the dirty side of football as well. But like what makes him such a clever player. Like there's a couple of stats I've got here. Like he had the sixth most fouls committed in the league, so you know he's got that dog in him. Like he's going to put in a tackle, but then he also had the most fouls drawn, so he was the most foul, like one of the most foul players as well, which just shows you how important he is to that team. Like he gets on the ball, he makes things happen in midfield, but he's also puts the work in as well.
mate, those stats combined with like a disciplinary record I'm looking at here of only 7 yellows and no red cards the whole season, like that is the dark arts like put to the fucking extreme there. It's just yeah, he's yeah bosses that midfield, and then he's brought the other players into that midfield as well to just work as like the perfect like solid base for Newcastle to build what was getting a Europe well Champions League place at the end of the season.
100%. I mean, he's like all three of them are pretty much undroppable for Newcastle, and it's probably hurts them at times. Like I remember that Villa game where they lost 4-1, and it was just kind of like, oh, maybe they needed a bit more rotation. Maybe the midfield three were kind of tired after playing so many weeks consecutively, but when they're that quality and they're working together so well, Eddie Howe's almost got an impossible job of trying to find a match to rotate them or like drop them. And you wouldn't be dropping Bruno Guimaraes from any match that had any importance for me. And I'd be absolutely buzzing to have him as the like beating heart of my team in the centre of midfield.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I think we can agree. I'm got like my little shortlist. I'm going to put him at the top of that little shortlist at the moment. So I am agreeing with you on this one. But yeah, I think it's going to take a lot for him to get nudged out of my team. But we'll see how we go. Okay, so
Yeah, give me your short list. Let's see if anyone
no, no,
can
no,
knock him off the perch.
no, no. Let's go through your positions because then I'm going to have to like mold my shortlist to your positions now. Since
Oh,
it's
so we
all,
want to do the other two midfielders, yeah?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Since it's all
yeah.
about you and your rules, we'll have to do it this way now.
Mate, I put in all the work, so yeah, you can.
I'm just looking for vibes. That's all it is.
All right, so let me go for my like box to box midfielder sitting next to Bruno Guimaraes. I've gone for Yuri Tielemans of Aston Villa. We
Okay.
spoke about him a few times towards the end of the season, and I pointed him out as the central figure for Villa this year. I think he was head and shoulders their best player across the season. I think he was really upped his defensive game this year, which had always been a question mark of mine on Tielemans. I'd always judged him and thought his tracking back wasn't very good. His tackles were a bit sloppy, but in the league this season, he's eighth for tackles won across all of the Premier League players. So he's been putting in the work on that side of things, and he's been going forward. Like his contributions going forward are big. Like he's added headers to his to his game this season, as we discussed. But yeah, I think he's been so important to Villa.
I think we're gonna have a problem here with this one. I didn't have him in my shortlist. In all honesty, I think he's blown too hot and cold this season, in my opinion.
Really? Well, I
Yeah,
think he's been super consistent for Villa. I think like sometimes statistics don't tell you the end of the day, so you kind of I look to the underlying statistics to kind of back up my eye test, and he's had like the most touches and passes amongst central midfielders out of the other 14 teams. Like he's getting on the ball, he's making things happen. He's had the fifth most progressive passes in the league. So like whilst I mentioned his defensive game has improved, his attacking game has gotten a bit, I think, more consistent.
yeah. I do you know what it is for me? It's because each time I've seen him play live, I haven't had that wow factor that I had when he was at Leicester playing against us.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
Palace
why.
battered Villa like each time. They found but Palace had the secret sauce to beating Villa this season, and with Glasner versus Emery.
Yeah, I know, but that's it's just going to be personal bias with it, really. Because what he did with Leicester against us at certain points, it was like he is the best player on the pitch, and that's not what I saw like from him this year. I mean, I did watch a lot of Villa games as well, and in Champions League he did turn it on here and there. But I think there's people that have had better seasons. In all honesty,
Okay, okay. Well, let's leave that one there, and then we'll come back to him as a possible
yeah,
switch out for the other midfield position. So this is the one where I'm talking hybrid kind of 8-10 role. Like I think he's played in a number of positions this year. It's Tielemans' Villa teammate Morgan Rogers,
yeah.
which this one I think might be up for like a discussion because I had another Morgan in there for a while, and then once I started delving into the stats, I couldn't keep the other one in. So I went for Morgan Rogers. I think what he's done to make the step up to the Premier League just looks so easy. Like he looks like he's been around for years, and like obviously very talented youngster. Learned like took some time to learn in the Championship, which is always well, seems like it's always a good move. Like obviously it's not always, but there's been so many quality players who have made that step up and really contributed this season for Villa. Like 18 goal contributions, 8 goals, 10 assists across the season. I think he probably started the season better than he finished it. So it's kind of one of those that like maybe his recent performances weren't as headline grabbing as they were earlier in the season when he seemed like he was scoring every week, especially sort of in the opening part of the season. But yeah, I think he's been such a big performer for Villa, surrounded by loads of big names.
See, he is the player I've been most scared of all season. That's the thing. Like,
Really?
each time we play Villa, shit scared of him. And like compared to what I literally just said about Yuri Tillemans, like from what I've seen him not putting it on in those games, every time Morgan Rogers got the ball in those games, he looked deadly, like absolutely
Yeah,
fine.
I
A
can
little bit,
remember the last Palace Villa game where he had a good chance. I think he maybe even got goal disallowed, or he had like the assist for it or something. But yeah,
yeah. The 4-1 at home with their goal he gets, it's like Route One takes down, puts past keeper. I'm just there like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm expecting from him. So I actually had him in my forwards rather than my midfielders shortlist. So
really.
that's
Well, I mean, I didn't think you'd be putting a midfielder in the forwards. I thought you would have been putting another forward in the midfield.
okay. I'm gonna. Yeah, I probably agree with Rogers in all honesty. I
Just to
mean,
give
let's
give
compare
a
it with
couple of
Morgan
stats.
Gibbs.
All right, do you want to go to the comparison?
No, no, no. Give your stats and then we can go to the comparison. I reckon.
All right, just wanted to say like sort of in the hybrid 8-10 role in my team. Like the stats to back it up are like he's fifth for through balls and third for take on attempts. So that's probably also why you've got him in the forwards. Like he's contributing in that attacking third like really well, and like with really good passes or making generally really good decisions across the season. So I think he's been an unreal season from Morgan Rogers. But yeah, let's go with the comparison.
Okay, so with Gibbs White, we had 34 appearances, 7 goals, 8 assists. So I know what you mean about like the stats don't really well, they do, but they're kind of like
They're very close. Like
yeah.
they are pretty close. I mean, as I said, I had Gibbs White in the team, and I was just sort of like thinking on it, and was like, Morgan Rogers has probably had a more like impactful. I was thinking like the Villa, like the Forest players around Gibbs White, and I was thinking like, Alanga, Hudson-Odoi at times, like they've been really important as well. Obviously, Chris Wood has done what he's done, but I just thought I was more impressed this season by Morgan Rogers than I was necessarily by Gibbs White over the course of the season.
Yeah, the way I'm looking at it is like you're kind of right there, aren't you? Because in my head, it's like the most important things were Forrest, Morgan Gibbs White, and Chris Wood, and that's why I'd have them pretty close to my team in all honesty. But I had Morgan Rogers as a dead cert in my team as a forward. So if I have to settle with him as a midfielder, then I'll do that.
Well, I don't know how you're getting him in the forward line that I've put together. So yeah. Was there any other midfielders you wanted to go through?
Yeah, okay. My shortlist, which these are once again midfielders slash forwards, most of them. Shortlist probably from highest to lowest, and then the one that I would like to put in instead of Yuri Tillemans, I'll mention at the end.
Okay.
So, if he had put the whole season together, I would have put Ebbs in, but it's just springtime Ebbs. Like he only comes out when the sun's out, and
Yeah, that would be pure recency bias. Like, I mean, even as a non-Palace fan, I love Eberechi Eze. Like, he's such a class player to watch, and he came up so clutch in that FA Cup run. But yeah, was he doing it for
no,
the
no.
first several months? Like, as you say, like springtime Ebbs turned up at the end of the season when things were warm.
Yeah, it's a genuine stat like last few seasons. If you compare stats from spring onwards compared to like the beginning of the season, it's
But he
like
just needs to move to Spain or something. He'll play great all season long. Like,
literally that'd been awesome. Another one I picked out who I just think didn't really have a full season. There's a bit of injury in there as well, but I think for Everton, Iliman and Dye, if he had been able to put a whole season together, then I
yeah.
think we would have been talking a lot more about him as a midfielder. What would you class him more as a midfielder or forward?
I would class him as a midfielder. I think like more like a number 10 sort of thing. But I think Moyes will probably end up playing him more like as a left winger. Moyes kind of likes to do that with like he did it with like players like Pablo Fornals and that with us. Ilman and Dye, excellent player. Had a really nice first season, but I think if if Moyes had taken charge in the summer and that season was all season long, I would have been definitely considering him because the form he's been in since Moyes took over has been excellent. Like he's been such a quality player and such a standout player for Everton as well, and 100% the player that they should build around next season. Like he's done so well to build off, and he's so young. But yeah, I don't think he's been consistent enough throughout the whole of this season. But I don't think anyone in that Everton team was until Moisey turned up.
Yeah, exactly that. So I think he's going to be one of those that when we come to like maybe awards or like ones to watch next season, he's definitely going to be one there for me. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll get to the player that I think should take Yuri Tillemans' place, and I think it's Mikael Damsgaard for Brentford. I think he had a absolutely unreal season, stats-wise, 38 appearances, 2 goals and 10 assists. But he was like that heartbeat, like running that Brentford team. He was unplayable the times I watched him this season live. So I want to put a case forward for him rather than Yuri Tillemans, and he's got the stats to back it up as well, I'd say.
He does. Damsgaard did keep coming up when I was doing the stats, and I think what's interesting about Damsgaard is it feels like he's finally put it together. like Mikael Damsgaard has been a name in like so in football circles for years, and it was always like he's got the talent. Like every time Denmark would play, it'd be like, well, Damsgaard's a good player, but is he going to reach that next level? Or is he going to put it together on a consistent basis? And I'd probably say that this is the first season that he has done.
Yeah.
But my counter would be we're going way too attacking because I think Damsgaard has played like much more forward than Tielemans has at times. Like I think Tielemans has like essentially played as part of a two with Kamara for most of the season, or Onana, like one of the two. Whereas I think Damsgaard has played as a 10 for most of the season with like Norgard and Jan out behind him.
Come on, let's have a bit of fun. Let's play one holding and two number 10s. Come on.
Well, I've got Tielemans who can do both things.
Nah, I'm not having it. Give me this one. I gave you Anthony Robinson. I want Damsgaard.
We'll be conceding too many goals. And
Mate, you're used to that as a West Ham fan. It's fine.
don't remind me. That's why I'm smiling so much. West Ham haven't played in a few weeks.
Oh, my God. Okay, I reckon I'm happy. We'll put in Bruno Guimaraes, Rodgers, and we'll leave Damsgaard, Tielemans until we've done our forward line. How about that?
Okay, I feel like I need to give you one because I feel like I'm ruling with an iron fist so far.
I'm going to have him half in for now. I don't know how I'm going to outline that on the graphic, but yeah, we'll have a half in for now, and we'll see what's going on. Okay, So let's move on to our three forwards then. Or do you want to take a break to compose yourself before this?
Let's have a quick break and then we'll crack on with the forwards.
Okay. All right, listeners, we have a 14 FC first here where we're going to pull the curtain back and give you a bit of a behind the scenes of what happened on the break, just so you guys can see how hard it was for Tom to give up Yuri Tielemans for Mikael Damsgaard. I hope you enjoy.
Mate, I don't know how you've got two more forwards.
I've got loads. Mate, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 10 forwards.
You've got 10 forwards. I'm just going on FB Ref to do a quick comparison between Yuri Tielemans and Mikael Damsgaard. Give me one minute.
I generally don't know how we're going to do forwards.
How do you mean?
Like, how we're going to agree on this.
I mean, I've got some pretty good forwards in my team.
I've got like 4 dead certs. I can only have 3.
Mate, the fucking strikers, there's like 8 of them. I was like, how the hell does that, like, I feel so bad leaving these guys out.
Yeah.
Alright, Tielemans, Damsgaard, 10 goals and assists versus 12 goals and assists. Got played in 2 more matches.
You're really going into fine detail with this one, aren't you?
I am. You should see the stats the website that I use. It is like raw. It's like raw data, just like bare tables and numbers. Like it's intense.
Oh God.
Progressive passing difference. Tielemans has got 3,000 more yards.
This means he's playing long balls, long hopeful balls.
Beautiful long balls. He's got a better completion percentage at 82 compared to 72.
Yeah,
oh, come on.
Because he's playing on the better team.
No, I mean, yes, but he's also completed 500 more passes.
Nah, not having it.
Got better completion percentage, better distance.
Like he's played in a fucking Champions League team. That's
exactly.
surprising.
He was doing double duty.
Wait, did Villa didn't get Champions League in the end, did they? They got Europa.
No, they got Europa.
Okay, let's get.
Yeah.
Let's get back to it. We'll decide at the end. Now back to the pod. Okay, and we're back after a few heated conversations and some very sad stack digging during the break. We're still undecided on Tielemans and Damsgaard, so yeah, let's power forward and come back to that at the end, where I think we're going to have a lot of trouble with forwards because I currently have a short list of 10 and 4 dead certs for 3 positions. So
yeah, I mean, it was a hard exercise cutting these down because there were so many good forwards. Like, I think an impressive amount for the other 14 this season. So on the right wing, I don't know how you're going to argue with this one, but I've gone with Damsgaard's teammate, Brian Mbeumo.
Yeah, top of my list. Cool, lock
Yeah.
that in. Like I can't disagree with that. He is
Nah.
literally 20 goals, seven assists was unreal. Like we said maybe 2 weeks ago, like he feels like peak Barclays man already with it all. But
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, I don't want to touch on the transfer stuff because I'm pretty sure almost all of these forwards we'll talk about are going to be linked away or whatnot. But just looking at his season, like he scored every type of goal really for Brentford, and it was just some of them were just classy finishes, like running with the ball. And Brentford fans must have been sat there like, yeah, we know it's coming now. Like that ball's getting in the back of the net. But it's also mad. Like Brentford didn't win a game away from home until they played Leicester, like in the New Year, did they? And
Oh,
it's
really?
mad to think like they were just banging them in for fun at home like that. It's a great effort from from their two main strikers really, him and Wissa.
Yeah, I mean the fact that they lost Ivan Toney last year, their replacement got injured really early on, and then Mbeumo and Vissa, to their credit, just went, all right, we'll shoulder the responsibility of scoring all of these goals, and had like their best ever seasons. Like 20 goals and 7 assists is crazy for Brian Mbeumo. Like 20 goals in any team is excellent. Like. But everything, as you said, I think you said it, like everything flows through Mbeumo for them. Like he's a right winger by like position on the field, but he pops up in the box, pops up like and everywhere wherever the ball is going, and Mbeumo's nearby for Brentford. Like you just know he's a constant threat. Like some stats for it. He was top 10 in the league in a number of attacking stats, including like passes into the box, goal creating actions, carries into the box. So like Brentford's tactics could have been boiled down to get the ball as fast as possible to Mbeumo and let him terrorise defences, and he did it on a week by week basis. Like absolutely nailed on team of the season.
Yeah, he just seemed relentless all season, and he's got the bald beard look, which gets him an extra few points from us, like no matter what as well.
100%. No wonder he's our peak. He's going to be peak Barclays for us in a few years because he represents us both on the pitch.
Oh God, I wish, I really wish. But I don't know what more flowers I can really give him. He's just like head and shoulders really above a lot of players like this season. And the only thing that annoys me about him is he's taken the Ivan Toney penalty technique, and I hate players that do it. But
Defund woke penalties.
I hate
Yeah,
it so much, but it works, doesn't it?
I mean, one thing I'll say about Mbeumo is he's had a steady career so far. Like I think his like progression has just sort of like been step by step. Like he's got better at almost every season. Like he did some time in the Championship, came through to the Premier League, like spent some time. He's not been like quick to try and get a move elsewhere. He's been so good for Brentford in that time where quite a few other players have come and gone, like your Ben Ramas, your Tonys, etc. And Buemo's just been a consistent riser in his performances throughout the years, and I think this was just like the crowning glory of that, like the output, but also just like how important he was to Brentford this year was just sublime to watch.
Yeah. Do you think also like with the players that left Brentford, they've not all gone on to like great successes? Like the only one you can think of is Watkins really going to Villa and like kicking on. All those players, like I know Ivan Toney's in Saudi and maybe coming back or just don't really know what's going on there, but it's not the ideal like career progression, is it? Who else did they have go?
Ben Rama came to West Ham.
Yeah, had a
He did
shocker.
fine. Like
Did fine. He only did fine against us, I feel like.
he was okay, but he was no Embuemo.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll give you that one. I'll add him into the top of my shortlist because I feel like he has to be the one that goes in there. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay, so where do you want to move on to now? Up front or left wing?
I'm going to go left wing first because I'm assuming that's where you've got Morgan Rogers slotted in.
That's what I had him
So
before. Yeah.
I've gone for Mateus Cunha. And
Okay.
I know it's a bit like, oh, now he's left Wolves, but we're just talking about team of the season for 2024-25. Mateus Cunha is definitely got to be involved in the conversation for me.
he has to be involved in it, but he was like the fourth in my list of like nailed on people. But he has to be involved in it. But do you not remember, like, we were talking about maybe Wolves are doing better without him in the team when he was serving his
100%. Yeah.
bans?
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, let me put my case forward for Cunha because even though, like, yes, he missed a bit of that unbeaten run, he did contribute to it for the last couple games of it. So, like, he did come in and play his part in that. But he also, his output when Wolves were struggling in the early part of the season, like, he was almost keeping them afloat at times with, like, he was getting them really important goals that were getting them any sort of result that before they got Pereira in charge was really valuable to them because like, remember how close they were to the relegation drop and like they were involved in that battle in the early part of the season and yeah I mean he's so just reel off some stats for him. He's got 21 goal contributions, so 15 goals and 6 assists, which is pretty impressive.
yeah, it's very impressive. Don't get me wrong.
He was third for shots on target in the league and second for shots per 90. So like he took a lot of shots to get those goals, and he was like pretty accurate with them. But he's also the reason why I wanted Cunha in my team is I love a bit of a maverick. Like I'm sure anyone from the other 14 loves it when they've got that one player who gets everyone on their feet. It will do just stuff a bit different. Like I grew up watching Paolo Di Canio, like Dimitri Payet, etc. Like all of those players who you don't know what they're going to do next, and I think Cunha has been that for Wolves.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's just that thing lingers in the back of my head where I'll give you a comparison to one of your own players. Like stats wise, pretty similar. Well, you got Jared Bowen, 34 games, so one more game, 13 goals, 8 assists, and you were always a better team with him in it. Do you see what I mean? Like, about no one's going to be walking away from this season as a neutral saying Jared Bowen had a better season than Mateus Cunha, are they?
No, because West Ham were worse.
Yeah, but he was more vital to the team. I don't know. I'm giving you it. I'm just trying to cause a little bit of a
No,
debate.
no. The reason why I don't is Bowen in your shortlist.
He was on my like you can't those stats you can't like leave that out really. And,
Yeah,
like
because he's
what
an honourable mention for me.
yeah,
But you know me and my rules of like he's a right winger. Like his best place. If I wanted to, I could have forced him in up front, but it would have just felt really wrong. Like he's played on the right. His best football is on the right, and I've got him. And I'm not unseating Embuemo for this season. Like if you offer me the two over the next 5 years, I'm gonna pick Bowen because I'm West Ham. But if I'm just trying to be neutral and give this season, I can't put and I'm not putting Bowen on the left because I don't. I'm trying to remember if he's ever played there on the left for us.
you're such a nerd.
I'm very anal about this.
You really
I've built an excellent team. That's why I'm so like reticent to let you like take one away from me.
you need to get off Football Manager, mate. I know you're not got a new job and everything, but you must have a load of
Mate,
things.
I've got West Ham to sixth in the league. Give me the job.
Oh god. Yeah. Do you know what? I won't argue because Mateus Cunha is there for me. Like you can't look at what he did in the season and be like, nah, he's not in there. I think he's probably made a lot of pundits like team of the season anyway as well because yeah, and I know he's got the move to United, which I think's madness on United's part, but that's funny. Let's watch those top 6 sides make big mistakes.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I don't know if that's the dressing room that I'd be putting Cunha if he's a bit of a firecracker in. It
you
might be good
seen
telly.
you seen that video of the guy like putting the chips into the oil and it like
Yeah.
goes over. It's exactly what I think the
Like,
United
what if
dressing.
we had some spice to this?
Oh god. Okay. I'm happy with those. This is the position where, yeah, I don't. There's going to be some arguing here for sure. But who have you gone with up front?
I mean, I had about 8 names on my shortlist for this one. I think this was the one that I struggled with the most. I think that most of the other positions, there were probably 2 or 3 that I was like, maybe I could do this or I could do that, and it might have come down to just a bit of a personal flavour sort of thing. But for this one, I looked into loads of stats, and I've gone for Alexander Isak, which might just sound quite easy to say off the top of it because he out of the list of players that I had, he had the most goal contributions with 23 goals and 6 assists in the league. So it might just seem like, oh, well, he scored the most, let me pick him. But I was looking at other stats as well, and Isak was first or second for a lot of them. Do you want to go through a short list of competition?
No, because Tom, I don't think you understand that there is no striker better than John Philip Mateta. There's no way I'm walking away without him, either playing centre back or up front for this team. So
I can't give it to you, man, because he's not even
nah, mate,
he's not even the second name. Like,
nah, I'm joking. I'm joking about him. Don't worry. He's on the very bottom of my shortlist because I mean, any Palace striker scoring 14 goals in a season is always going to be like up there for me. But yeah, I don't think
I will not let you play Boom 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 by the Wenger Boys on on this podcast. I'll leave.
that's all I got to do. Happy days. But no, okay, yeah. JP's on my shortlist, but very, very much the bottom of it, just because, yeah. Honourable mentions that I won't even bring into the argument. Beto for Everton, I just think like he had a strong period in the season where he showed what he could do under Moyes and could be one to watch next year if they want to keep like going with him. Justin Kluivert was pretty high up there. I mean, I did want to pick basically any of those Bournemouth front three, and I was a bit in the lurch with him and Semenyo, but what those Bournemouth fans said to me before the Palace Bournemouth game, just like he flies to deceive, that's kind of stuck in the back of my head. I don't think Evan Nilsson had enough time this season to really like push for a team of the season.
Yeah, not consistently for Evan Nilsson. I think maybe next season he can build off his first year in the Premier League. Regarding Kluivert, I had him actually as a backup left wing. He was that because I think he's played a bit more on the wings than he has up front. So I had him as like a Cunha alternative. But I think really good start to the season, but not really done much in recent months. And then Semenyo, I just don't know what you're going to get from him, really. Like,
Yeah.
I think another one not necessarily super consistent compared to some of these names on the list. So
Yeah.
a decent honourable mention.
Yeah, another honourable mention for more of a winger as well. Alanga, I think he already spoke about like the Forest team and how we didn't how Morgan Gibbs White kind of had all those people around him. So him and Hudson-Odoi had definitely like honourable seasons to put it lightly with them. And
Yeah, both of them were also on my bench or my shortlist as like options for the wing.
yeah, one person last honourable mention, but one person who I'd really like to have put in was Strand Larsen because
Yeah.
his stats as well, 34 games, 14 goals and 4 assists from a geezer that no one would have said would have even scored like 2 goals this season, I reckon, when the state Wolves were in at the beginning. Like,
Yeah, I mean, most of those goals came after Pereira joins, and he went on an absolute tear that we were talking about on the pod. And yeah, I mean, Wolves have had an they've almost been going through like striker wilderness since the days of Raul Jimenez, like who I actually had as another honourable mention. Like, I think he's had a good season for Wolves and a good season for Fulham. And bounce back, but yeah, Strand Larsen, he's coming after like Wolves they spent big money on players like Fabio Silva and Sasa Kalajic, and they initially got Strand Larsen in on loan and then converted it once he started banging them in. But yeah, definitely honourable mention for him. He's been really impressive and another young striker who could do really good things next season.
yeah, I feel like he's a striker that is definitely going to. I want to say it's going to be one to watch, but the Wolves team, I know I don't want to talk about transfers, but it's getting a bit decimated now. And you worry for Wolves a little bit with it, don't you? Like, they have all these good players, but who's going to be that's going to be able to link up the play and give Seb Larsen these chances? Because Aidan Ori would have been doing that, Cunha would have been doing that. It's just, you worry a bit that it's now becoming a bit of a rebuild, and I guess that's a problem that all of us other 14 sides kind of have to deal with as the season goes through.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Wolves have been picked off this season, in particular, it seems, with Aït-Nouri and Cunha going, as well as a couple of others. I think defensively they're going to have a lot of changes to make, and then also some of those other pieces in attack. I think they've got a couple in this season with like Minetzi and Bellegarde, but as well as Strand Larsen, but definitely going to need to add some quality in if they want to be looking up rather than down.
Yeah, I hope for them. Like, I hope they can keep the form that they had going in, but let's see how it goes. Okay, let's get to the debate of it then, because I've got my other player that I had like nailed on for a place in this team. It's Chris Wood, like I think pretty obviously. So, I do you think if he had tailed off a bit towards the end of the season, he's there ahead of Isaac for you?
Yeah, probably. I had him as like he's on my bench as the striker. Like there's loads of other names that we didn't even mention, like Ollie Watkins, Johan Visser, Liam Delap, like as well as the ones that we did. But it was between for me it was between Isaac and Wood,
Yeah,
and I think like the temptation is to go for Wood because no one saw this season coming. Like he's been a solid Premier League performer in his time with like Newcastle and that. But and then he moves to Forest, and it's kind of just I think a lot of people as they viewed Forest as kind of like an afterthought before the season,
yeah,
and those first several months, Wood was just scoring every chance that it felt like he was scoring every chance that dropped to him, and he was a proper menace in the box. But as you say, it tailed off towards the end of the season, whereas I think Isaac was a bit more consistent throughout the season, and then he had a little injury towards the end of the season, so didn't maybe end it as strong as he would have. But yeah, with Wood, I just think the amount felt like since from about February the goals really dried up.
yeah. We've said it on the pod as well. Like it kind of like linked up with Forest getting closer to thinking they'll get that Champions League spot, and the nervousness came into their game, and then it came into their fans, and you feel like it probably got into Chris Wood's head a little bit, like thinking like, oh, he's probably more thinking about these chances because of how important it is. Whereas before, he was probably like instinct finish after instinct finish just to get the goals.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I'd like to put him in because of that enormous effort throughout the season, but like cat's cow of the bag for me. Like Alexander Isaac, I think is probably the best striker outside of the top six in the league.
100%. Yeah, I think it's without a doubt. Like I think that just the last thing I'll say on Woods, like whilst I also would have liked to put him in, was just like in the last few months of the season, Hudson Odoi and Alanga were picking up injuries here and there, so they were in and out of the team. And I think that's also kind of where I detrimented Morgan Gibbs White a little bit. Was like I didn't feel like he necessarily stood up as much in those moments as I would have wanted him to.
What
And then
kind
I
of
think that kind of was the reasoning behind Woods tailed off. Like I don't think the backups for Forest were doing it.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's Forest game plan pretty much straight out the window when you don't have those players. Like when we had Balassi and Wilf on either wing going up to Glen Murray. If you take them out of the team, your striker that relies on that delivery isn't going to be scoring the goals, is he? Like, so yeah, I feel for Chris Wood because there was one point in the season, yeah, he would have been everyone's team of the season. I think we should play two up front personally, but you're not going to let me get away with that. So yeah, okay. I just want to touch on Isaac more in all
Yeah,
honesty because sit there, and I think he's just expected to have a good game, score goals, and just be that player to the point where I think a lot of people may have just sat there and been like, yeah, he had a pretty standard season, but he had an unbelievable season, like 23 goals, 6 assists. It's just, yeah, he's just going to be a great player for Newcastle, hopefully for years to come for them.
yeah. I mean, he's still only 25. Like he's another one who's had a like was like a young player who had an interesting journey as well. Like I remember when Dortmund signed him, and he was like, wow, like proper good young striker, but he never really got a crack of it at Dortmund. Like really didn't play very much. And then he goes off to Spain, and he sort of like steadily gets better with Sociedad. But then I think like the leap that he's made since he's been at Newcastle, and like just how consistently good he's been, and like just getting and feels like he just gets better every season. Like I think he's an interesting one because he's not like a big brutish centre forward. He's a bit more cultured. Like I honestly see like when the ball's at his feet, like I see like a little bit of Thierry Henry about him, like the way he's sort of like that body type, and but how smooth he is with the ball at his feet. Like obviously playing
Never,
slightly different positions, but
I never thought of it that way actually, but yeah, you're actually kind of right with the boy movement and that. But it's just all round game for me. Like there's lots of strikers in the league that do certain things really well, but he is the one that has like everything, like, and does it really well. Like, he can hold off players, he can bring people in play, he can run in behind, he can score worldies, he can score with his head. It's just there, like,
That's the thing. He scores every type of goal as well. Like there's like one that's on like goal of the season nominees against Liverpool where he absolutely smashes it from like on the edge of the box, and then he also is always there for the tap ins. It feels like as well. Like it's like back post. Oh, who's ghosted in? Oh, of course it's Isak. Like who was it? Why was no one picking him up? Or he gets the better of the defenders, or he can turn them inside the box. Like. Yeah, he's got every tool in the box.
that's it. And all of that with electric pace. That was the one thing the first time I saw him play at Selhurst Park. I can't remember he scored. No, he got a lucky save actually from Guaita for a few years ago. But I remember he like picked the ball up and like just absolutely skinned everyone. Was like yards ahead of him. It's just like you can't be that quick and that good at everything else. It's just not fair. Like.
Yeah, it's not fair at all because it allows you to play in every kind of way. Like if you're under the pressure, like you can go long. Like if you're in possession and trying to break down a team who are parking the bus, like he'll be involved. Like he comes out to the wings as well. Like he's not just like stand in front of the goal and tap things in kind of thing. Like he does everything you'd want, and that's why I think like I just really, as much as I wanted to like look at other names on the list and toyed with the idea of Chris Wood and such, like it always felt like I was trying to reason with or like bargain someone else to take Isak's place, or like trying to find a reason not to include Isak when I think he has been the best striker out of the other 14 and one of the best strikers in the league.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Like, you got your positioning and everything that you wanted with it as well. So, okay, we agree with the forwards. I want Damsgaard instead of Yuri Tillemans, and I'm going to die on this hill. This is the
You
worst.
know what? I have to give it to you. I have to give you Damsgaard. Like, to be fair, there's not a ton between them. I think statistically, like importance-wise, I think both have had such good seasons. I'll give you Damsgaard over Tielemans.
Okay, listeners, if you don't see me next week, it will be because of that decision.
I need a new podcast host if anyone's looking.
That listens to everything I say.
Yes, that will just accept my takes as word. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Let's run through our team then. Do you want to do the keeper and defence, and then I'll do the midfield and attack?
Let's go for it. So in goal, we've got Matt Sells from Nottingham Forest. Right back, in our back four, we've got Daniel Munoz of Crystal Palace. Centre-backs are Murillo of Nottingham Forest and Dean Huijsen of Bournemouth. And at left-back, we've got Anthony Robinson of Fulham.
Nice, cool. And then in midfield, we have Holden, Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle. And then we have our two attacking midfielders, Morgan Rogers and Mikkel Damsgaard. And then up front, we have Mbeumo on the right wing. We have Matthias Cunha on the left wing. And then Isaac up front for us. So yeah, I think it's a pretty formidable team. I'm going to throw you a curveball that I don't think we've prepared at all. Who would be managing this team for you out of the other 14?
Oh, I think we should save that for next week. You know, with our awards of the season.
Yeah.
I think there's a little teaser, but my go-to for this for manager of the season would be someone from who qualified for Europe. One of the three other 14 teams who've qualified for Europe would be my little teaser for my option for my choice.
Okay, probably the same as mine because I have John Philip Mateta managing this team. So.
Player manager John Philip Mateta. Let's go for it. I'll give you that because that's like Football Manager where you're just like, hey, you used to play. Do you want to be my assistant manager?
Hey, player, striker, chairman, everything.
John Philip Mateta now owns Crystal Palace. He owns John Textor's shares.
Mate, with that European trouble, I fucking take it at this point. Oh, God. But yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, that's a nice tease as well. So, as Tom's pointed out, next week we're going to be looking to do our awards of the season. So, yeah, going to have a couple of interesting categories in there. I'm also away at a festival next week, so hopefully my brain will be working by the time I get back to be able to do that properly. If not, you might be stuck with Tom himself, just arguing with himself throughout.
That sounds great. After this podcast, I may as well just do that. Yeah, you can take next week off.
Oh, I love it. Cool. Okay, I think we'll have the graphic up of our team. And then also, if you guys have anything you disagree with on our team, or anything you may agree with, or if you think Tom is right about everything, feel free to write in on our socials at Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram at Other14FC Podcast, and then our email at what was the email? Actually, I've not got the thing up for once.
Other14FC podcast at gmail.com.
Bang, there we go. See, that's why we're a good team working together. But otherwise, yeah, catch you guys next week.
Nice one. Cheers, man.
Bye.